The story of Nick Vujicic, a man who never gave up. Let me tell you the story of a man who was born very different from most people. His name is Nick Vujicic. He was born in 1982 in Melbourne, Australia. When Nick was born, the doctors and nurses were shocked. Nick had no arms and no legs. His parents were very sad. They had never seen anything like this before. They asked the doctors many questions, but there was no clear answer. Why did this happen? Nobody knew. But one thing was clear. Nick's life was not going to be easy. As a baby, Nick could not hold a toy. He could not crawl or walk. He could not feed himself. His parents had to do everything for him. But even with these problems, they gave him love and care. They wanted him to live a good life. When Nick started school, things became harder. Many children did not understand him. Some were kind, but others were cruel. They laughed at him and called him names. Nick felt very lonely. He often cried at home. He asked, "Why am I different? Why can't I be like the other kids?" At the age of 8, Nick felt very hopeless. He thought that life had no meaning. One day, he even tried to end his life by drowning in the bathtub. But something stopped him. He thought about his parents and how sad they would be. That moment changed everything. Nick began to search for hope. He started asking himself new questions. What is the purpose of my life? Can I do something special? Even with my body like this, Nick decided to try. With time and practice, he learned how to do many things by himself. He used the small foot that he had to write, to use a computer, and even to swim. It was not easy, but Nick was strong in his heart. He believed that he could do more. One day, his mother showed him a newspaper story about a man with a disability who lived a full life. That story gave Nick hope. He thought, if that man can do it, maybe I can too. Nick began to speak to small groups of students at school. He told them about his life and his feelings. People listened carefully. Some cried. Some smiled. After each talk, many students came to him and said, "Thank you, you gave me hope." Nick saw that his story had power. His pain became his message. He started speaking in more schools, then in other cities, and soon in other countries. His voice was strong, not because it was loud, but because it was honest. Today, Nick is a world-famous speaker. He has talked to millions of people in over 70 countries. He teaches people that life is not about what you don't have. It's about what you do with what you have. Nick also found love. He got married to a kind and beautiful woman named Kane. They now have 4 children. Many people once thought he would never have a family, but Nick proved them wrong. He showed that love is not about perfect bodies. Love is about heart, kindness, and understanding. Nick's story teaches us a very important lesson. Never give up. Even if life is hard, even if people laugh at you, even if you feel alone, you must keep going. You have a purpose. You are special, and you can do amazing things. After Nick began giving speeches, his life slowly started to change. People started inviting him to more places. Schools, churches, events. Everyone wanted to hear his story. He didn't have arms or legs, but he had something very powerful: hope. Nick didn't talk like a teacher. He talked like a friend. He told people about his pain, his sadness, and his struggles. But he also told them about his dreams, his hard work, and his victories. And that's why people listened. They felt that Nick understood them. One day, after a speech in a school, a young girl came to Nick and cried. She told him that she was thinking about ending her life. But after hearing his story, she changed her mind. She said, "If you can live a happy life, maybe I can too." That moment touched Nick's heart. he understood something important. His life was a gift, not only for himself, but for others too. As more people learned about Nick, TV shows and newspapers began talking about him. He became more famous, but he stayed humble. He never acted like a star. He said, "I'm just a man with no arms and legs, sharing what I've learned." Nick also started writing books. His first book was called Life Without Limits. In this book, he shared his full story, his pain, his faith, and his journey. The book became very popular. People around the world read it and felt stronger. He also started a nonprofit organization called Life Without Limbs. Through this group, Nick travels to different countries to speak in schools, prisons, hospitals, and conferences. He tells people, especially young ones, that their life has meaning, that they should never give up. Nick loves to make people laugh too. Even with no arms or legs, he jokes about his body. He says, "I can't hug you, but I can give you a foot five." People laugh, and the room fills with joy. His humor is simple, but full of love. That's one of Nick's gifts. He makes people feel happy and strong at the same time. Nick also did something that surprised many people. He learned how to surf. Yes, with no arms and legs. He rides the waves in the ocean. He also plays golf and goes skydiving. How is that possible? It's possible because Nick never said I can't. He always said I'll try. His life became even more beautiful when he met Kane. She was kind, sweet, and loving. They became good friends. Then they fell in love. Many people thought Nick could never get married or have a family, but he proved them wrong. Kane loved Nick for his heart, not his body. They got married and had 4 children. Nick says, "My kids love me just the way I am." And that is true love. Even today, Nick keeps traveling and speaking. He has visited places like India, Brazil, Pakistan, Japan, the United States, and many more. He speaks to thousands of people in stadiums. But he also speaks to one person in a hospital room. To him, every person matters. Nick's life may look happy now, but it is still full of challenges. Every day, he needs help with many things. He cannot dress himself easily. He cannot drive a car alone. He cannot open a door or hold a cup of coffee. But he never lets these problems stop him. Instead of asking why me, he asks how can I use my life to help others. One of Nick's biggest dreams is to help young people believe in themselves. Many teenagers today feel lost. They feel like they are not good enough. Social media shows them perfect pictures, perfect lives, and perfect bodies. But Nick says that nobody is perfect, not even the people on the screen. He tells young people that true beauty is inside the heart, not in the mirror. When Nick visits schools, many students open their hearts to him. Some are silent at first, but when Nick shares his pain, they feel safe. Some students tell him about their depression. Some tell him they are bullied. Some say they feel invisible. Nick listens to them with care. He doesn't tell them to be strong. He shows them that they already are strong. He tells a story about a girl in a wheelchair who said she hated herself. After his speech, she smiled and said, "Maybe I don't need to hate myself anymore." These moments give Nick the energy to keep going. Nick also talks a lot about fear. He says that fear is the biggest enemy of dreams. People don't try because they are afraid to fail. But Nick teaches that failure is not the end. Failure is just a step on the way. He says, "I fell many times before I could sit. I failed many times before I could swim. but I never stopped trying. Another big topic Nick talks about is bullying. He knows how painful it is. He lived it. So now, he tells bullies to stop. He tells victims to speak up. He tells teachers and parents to listen. He says, one kind word can change a life. Nick also believes in the power of faith. His Christian faith helped him find meaning. He often says that God doesn't make mistakes. And even if you don't believe in God, Nick believes you still have a reason to live, a reason to fight, a reason to smile. He often says, if you can't get a miracle, be a miracle. This means, even if life is hard, you can still help others. You can still be light in someone's dark day. Nick's story has reached many people online too. His videos are shared on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Millions of people watch and comment. Some say they were thinking of ending their life, but after watching Nick, they changed their mind. Some say Nick gave them courage to chase their dreams. Nick reads these messages and smiles. He does not see himself as a hero. He says, I'm just a man who kept going. Now, Nick also teaches leaders, business people, and teachers. He tells them that success is not just money. Real success is when you help others succeed. He wants schools to be places of kindness. He wants homes to be full of love. And he wants every person to know, you matter. Today, Nick Vujicic is more than just a speaker. He is a symbol of hope. He is a light for people who live in darkness. He is a voice for those who feel they don't belong. But even with all his success, Nick stays humble. He still laughs at simple jokes. He still loves spending time with his wife and children. He still cries when he hears the pain of others. And he still wakes up every morning with the same thought. How can I help someone today? Nick doesn't live a life without pain. He gets tired. He feels weak sometimes. He misses simple things, like hugging someone or holding his child's hand. But he focuses on what he can do. He says, I can love, I can speak, I can smile. And sometimes, that's more than enough. One time, a little boy without arms and legs came to see Nick. He was only 6 years old. His parents brought him to meet someone who looked just like him. When Nick saw the boy, he cried. He saw himself in that child's eyes. Nick got close to the boy, leaned forward, and gave him a gentle hug with his shoulder. He said to him, You are beautiful. You are strong. And you are not alone. That moment showed the world what real strength looks like. Not in muscles, not in running fast, but in love, kindness, and courage. So, what can we learn from Nick's life? We can learn that every life has value. We can learn that we don't need to be perfect to be happy. We can learn that we all have the power to change our story, no matter how hard it starts. Nick was born with no arms and no legs. But his heart is full, his smile is wide, and his message is clear. Never give up. Keep moving forward. Use what you have, and believe that your life matters. Because sometimes, the people who seem to have the least give the most. And sometimes, the ones who struggle the most become the strongest. Just like Nick. And now, my friend, you heard the story of Nick Vujicic, a man with no arms and no legs, but with a big heart, a strong mind, and an unbreakable spirit. His life is a lesson for all of us. No matter where you are, no matter what your problems are, you can grow, you can change, and you can shine. If this story gave you hope, if it touched your heart, then I invite you to stay with us. On this channel, we share more real stories in simple English to help you learn and grow. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. New stories are coming every day just for you. Thank you for watching. And remember, you are stronger than you think.